Topic of this presentation is on the company North, which was formerly known as Thalmic Labs. Thalmic Labs produced IoT wearables. Uh, Two of the products that came to market were uh, the Mayo Arm Band, and the second one was smart glasses called Focals. They started off in 2012 when they prototyped the Mayo Arm Band. In 2014, they released that product. In 2016, they received funding from Amazon and Intel to produce smart glasses. In 2018, they rebranded themselves and started calling themselves North. And their product that came out in 2019 was called Focals. After not doing too well in the market, they were eventually acquired by Google in June of 2020, and July of 2022, the company ended selling their products and removed support from the Play Store. The first product was the Mayo Arm Band. What this was basically a gesture-based input device that directly coupled neuromuscular impulses into signals so that the computer could understand. So it's an armband which consists of 9-axis sensors such as accelerometer, gyroscope, and magnetometer. Uh, it had a processor built in, a low energy Bluetooth to connect to devices such as a computer or a drone, and a vibration monitor. So you would move your arm, and the signals that were generated would go to a computer, and then you could program those gestures into some command. This opened up a new world of possibilities, and the armband had use cases of flying drones or moving slides in a presentation. Uh, some of the more popular success stories included prosthetic limbs that you could move via the band. It was seen in the music industry, where it was used by Armin van Buuren, and generally used in research. Uh, so the target audience, in my opinion, would be technology enthusiasts, hobbyists, researchers, and I believe Conestoga's library also had one. Okay, the next product that they came up with was these smart glasses, and they were intended to be smart, everyday smart glasses with direct retinal projection and prescription capabilities. So these were prescription glasses, and you could interact with them using a ring, uh, and you could use Amazon's Alexa assistant using voice commands, and you could connect it to your phone and other devices via Bluetooth. It was priced at 1,300 and then later dropped to 800. Uh, so they came to it from uh, they focused their effort from a fashion and eyewear industry point of view. Like, they weren't selling smart glasses, they were selling everyday glasses with smart capabilities built into it. So the process wouldn't be where you would go to Amazon to buy it. What you would do is you would go to their physical locations, and they had 2 retail stores, and you would get a 3D head scan, uh, which would get dimensions of your face, and then it would plug it into an algorithm to determine the best fit, and then the glasses would be custom manufactured for you. Uh, the the virtual retinal display. So the way the technology works is that there are 4 components to it. There's a photon generator, which you can see here, and that photon generator create would take a combination of red, green, and blue light, and it would pass it on to something called the modulator, and that modulator uh, would be responsible to manipulate and create a panoramic high resolution image that is projected directly onto the retina of your eyes. So uh, there's that light is basically scanned onto the back of your eye, and it's like inverted, and that would show you like a virtual image where you could see things like time or uh, what the weather is, what your calendar for the day is. So this was pretty high tech what they were working on. Uh, uh, these images are part of their patent. Target market was meant to be it was very general, so anyone who wore glasses, whether prescriptive or non-prescriptive. So reasons for failure and or controversy. So the customers, when they were using the glasses long term, complained that it was exhausting on their eyes. The second issue was in the fitting process, where the Asian and Black community um, had issues because of the facial structures and how their facial structures did not always have a matching size of focals. Uh, there was another complaint from people with longer eyelashes or people who wore mascara, who would not always be able to see the display properly. Uh, Another issue was pricing. So initially they priced it at 1300. Then uh, uh, they realized that the pricing structure was not what customers expected from eyewear, which was around 800. So they ended up having to refund some money. Okay. Another controversy was around money that was given by the Canadian government as a loan. So the Canadian government gave 24 million to create 200 plus jobs. However, due to some financial constraints, they had to lay people off, and then that resulted in the government having to ask them to refund the loan amount. Um, the final and the most important reason ended up being that they were just not able to get the customer base that they needed. So one person close to the sales operation reported that um, North, in its last 2 years of selling eyewear, were only able to sell like 1,000 pairs maybe in its two locations in Toronto and Brooklyn. Finally, the even though this was a failure, Google still ended up acquiring the company for two main reasons, I believe, which are its intellectual property, so the patents that they had, and to acquire talent. And overall, this is why this IoT company uh, in the wearable space uh, ended up not succeeding, but it was a very good company overall. Thank you for your time.